Let's get the camera squared away here before we get going here. Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Trying to get this all squared away and set up. Hey man, it's been a while since I've done a live stream. Hey guys, hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I gotta square my camera away. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done a live stream? Hey, welcome. It is now 9:21 p.m. here in Japan, and welcome. Tonight is a session about not the happiest thing in Japan, but it's a reality of what his life in Japan. And I recently just experienced my worst day in Japan, and it has really rocked my world. And maybe some of you guys might say, "Oh, you're a wuss, you're a sissy, you need to toughen up." But what happened was something that made me rethink my perspective on life and the world here in Japan. So anyway, a lot of people have this idea that Japan is this perfect world of utopia, and it's such a great place, and it's such a perfect place. It's all manga. It's all manga and anime, and everything is great, and there's so much fun to see, and that's true. That's partially true. There's so much great stuff to see here in Japan. There's so many great experiences here in Japan. But what a lot of people fail to recognize is that this country is a real country, and there's real people, and they have real lives, and they have real problems, but also great experiences as well. And so that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And and like I said, this is not to be all depressing, but everybody wants to say, I want to experience the real Japan. And so you want to experience it, but at the same time, no, you don't. So anyway, but without further ado, without me just getting all mushy and everything, and before I just, without, just delaying this and drawing this out any worse, I'll share with you. I recently experienced, the worst day I ever had here in Japan. I've lived here in Japan for a little over 4 years now, and first of all, let me say, first and foremost, even today, right now at this very minute, I couldn't imagine a place that I would rather live than Japan. And I love Japan, and I love the culture, and I love the people, and I love the experiences that I've had here in Japan. But it is not utopia. It's not all anime and manga. It's not all unicorns and beauty and just, it's not all perfect. It's a country like any other country around the world, and just like wherever you're watching from, Japan has its issues. And I wish I could say that Japan is the greatest country in the world and it has no problem. Well, I am kind of partial. I do think Japan is one of the greatest countries in the world, but it's not all perfect. So let me without further ado, I'm continuing to draw this all out. Not too long ago. It wasn't that long ago. I live in Kanagawa. I live in Kanagawa Prefecture, and it's not too far outside of Tokyo, but I do have a very good friend who is from New Zealand. He's married to a Japanese, and he lives here in Tokyo area, and his father recently died. And I felt so terrible for him, and I just wanted to go spend a little time with him and just, console him, and just do what friends do. We're together. When you have an issue, you want to be there for your friend. So I'm going to be there for my friend no matter what. So, what I made a plan. I said, hey, my brother, I'm going to meet with you on Friday night. And we're just gonna talk, and I'm gonna be there for you, and we're gonna have dinner, we're gonna have a couple of drinks, and that was the plan. So Friday night comes along, and it is pouring buckets. I mean, it's pouring rain here in Japan. I mean, Japan usually gets this wispy little rain, and it's like not even rain, but it was pouring for my brothers and sisters. It was pouring, and but I said, you know what? I made a promise to my brother. I'm going to go. I'm going to meet my brother because that's what friends do. We meet our brothers. So I get on the train. I walk to the bus station, or I walk to the bus stop, and it is pouring and pouring and pouring. I have never in my life in Japan put on my entire wetsuit or rain suit. I put on my whole rain suit. I put on my water shoes. I got my umbrella and everything, and I'm walking in the rain, and it's just... I mean, it's just pouring. And so I walk to the bus stop, and and I catch the bus, and I get on the train, or I take the bus to the train, and I catch the train, and I get to the train station, my nearest train station. And normally in Japan, I use Japan has usually 8 or 10 cars to get to the for the train. So I usually get the center train, or usually in the middle, because it's closer to the stairways and closer to the escalators, elevators, etc. And it's easier to get on and off. But this was Friday evening. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening, and it's really crowded. And if you guys have ever seen some of the videos about crowded trains at rush hours, you might have an idea of what I'm talking about. It was really getting crowded. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the front of the train. And because it's usually not as crowded in the front of the train. So I go to the front of the train, and I get at the very front, and the train arrives, and I get on the train, and I'm like, oh, great. And even as I get on the train, I mean, in Japan, everybody waits in a nice queue and waits in line, but even then, some gal just jumped in front of me, and she grabbed the last possible seat that was available on the train. Anyway, hey, it happens. So she got the train, or she got the seat and everything. So I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll stand up. I don't have that far to go. It's about 30-minute train ride from my location into central Tokyo. So I get on, and I stand for the duration of the train. So anyway, here I am. I'm in the very front car, which I never take. I never take the front car. And like I said, because usually it's just not convenient because it's farther away from the stairs and the elevators. But anyway, I'm in the train, and I'm about 25 minutes into my train ride. I got about 5 minutes to go before I get into Tokyo. And we're coming through a station. I'm on the Odaku line. If you guys are familiar with Japan whatsoever, I'm on the Odaku line. And I get into one of the stations. It's getting pretty close to getting into Tokyo. And very front car of the train, and I hear the train driver just hit the horn, and it's like, yeah, you get the picture, going on and on and on and on and on. And I'm like, dude, this is not cool. Something bad is about to happen. And sure enough, and I'm like kind of like mentally bracing myself, and sure enough, at the front of the train, I hear boom. That was probably really loud for you guys. Boom. And all this noise is going on under the train, and I'm just like, I'd heard about this. And somebody had chosen to end their life. I'm sorry, man. It still really messes with me. Somebody chose to end their life on the train that I was on, right in the front. And I can't even explain the sound that I heard and the noise, what it sounded like. I mean, literally, you could hear bones crunching and just so much happening underneath, right beneath my feet. Anyway, I knew what had happened. And, wow. The train slows down and it comes to a stop. I mean, the train driver, some people say, why didn't the train driver hit the brakes? Because he's got 500, 1,000 people. I don't know how many people were on the train. He's got 500, 1,000 people on the train that he's got to take care of. He can't injure those people. But he tried to slow down the train, but he did the best he could. But somebody lost their life. And that was, I don't know. To me, life is just so important. And for somebody to take their life, and it happened right underneath my feet. I could feel the bones in the body crushing beneath my feet. It was, I don't know, I have no words for it. But it happened. So the train came to a complete stop, and the driver of the train gets on the loudspeaker, the announcement throughout the train, and basically in Japanese, he said, "There's been a collision. We're going to be delayed, and the worst has happened." But the thing that got me worse than the fact that what had just happened, that was traumatic. What I heard, what I felt, and what I experienced was traumatic. But what had bothered me the most was the reaction of the people that were on the train, and the fact that nobody seemed to react to it is what bothered me the most. Is because everybody just continued on with their life, and they were like, oh man, come on, really? Crap, expletive, whatever, eye rolls, and oh my God, we're delayed now. And there was no thought for the fact that somebody had just felt so hopeless in their life that they felt like there was nothing left, and they took it under our feet. And that's what I think disturbed me the most. Not the fact that, what had happened, but what the people's reaction to it. And there was just seemed to be that there was no sensitivity to the fact that what had happened was so traumatic. So I guess that's what affected me the most. I'm looking here. You're seeing me look down at my computer screen. I'm trying to find images of. I don't see them for whatever reason. I don't see them here that are popping up. I was going to share with you some of the images that I took from that night when this happened. Bugger me. I'm trying to pull some up, and they're not graphic, so please don't think I'm getting ready to show you some of the most graphic, horrific images. They're not graphic, but it was just some of the. Yeah, my goodness, where did it happen to go to? Anyway, I don't see them. They were here earlier. Yeah. Anyway, but what had happened was that somebody had taken their life, and so the train announcer comes on and he said, we're going to be delayed for an indefinite amount of period or amount of time until this situation gets resolved, and ended up that we were delayed for about an hour and a half or so. Just standing on the train, and I could look out the window, being that I was in the very, 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 very front car. The police were all around the car. There was just medical personnel, coroners, people of all sorts that were just all around the car. And, and they were removing parts of, they were removing parts. And putting them into plastic bags and everything, and of course, every passenger in the front of the train could see this, and we were watching this. And again, what just got me the most is that nobody seemed to react to this. It was just, I don't know. It upset me. Is there no love in Japan? Is there no compassion? I mean, people were walking by. I'm kind of sharing this with you to kind of as therapy for myself even. People were walking by and taking pictures and pointing. Some were even laughing. And I'm like, my God. Why? And at that moment, I realized that something I knew for a while about Japan is that Japan is a country that it's such a wonderful country. And tourists that come here, they say, oh, the Japanese are so nice. They're so wonderful. They're so warm. They're so welcoming. And that's true. That's true, guys. It's true. They really, really, really are. But what you see in that many, many, many times, and I hate to say this, is it's a mask. It's a mask that they wear. And they're so... They don't want... Japan is a very proud country. And they don't want to show that they have real problems. And they don't want to show that there's real problems here. And they show you that, hey, everything's okay. But there's real deep and dark and real problems here. Again, Japan is a wonderful country. Please don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Japan is a wonderful country, and I love living here, and I love the people that I experience every single day. But so many people, they wear this mask of loneliness, and they hide, or not a mask of loneliness. They wear this mask that hides their loneliness, that hides their heartbreak, the problems that they have at work, and the pressures in the life. And that's the Japan that people don't see. The people that don't live here, and they don't see this. And I don't want you to see that, but you need to understand that Japan is not all manga, anime, and just beauty, perfect. It's a real country with real problems. And so at that time, I got home, and man, I was wrecked. I met my friend who had I went ahead and met my friend who had lost his father. And unfortunately, it became more of a time of him consoling me after the tragedy that I had just experienced than me consoling him for the loss of his father. And I felt bad about that. But, that's what friends are for. Is that a Whitney Houston song? Forgive me for that. But that's what friends are for. We're there for each other. And I was there. I went there to be there for my friend, but he ended up being there for me. And that's what friends are for. We're there for each other, and that was really, really good. So in that, I got home, and I spent the evening with my friend, and and it was a really great evening. And I got home, and after getting home, I had I was almost I want to say it was like an epiphany moment that anyone is a tourist, anyone who has not really lived here, who has not really deeply experienced the culture, would never understand. And one thing that I really understood was that Japan needs love. And that sounds so simple. But even in that, Japan doesn't even use the word love for a mother and a child, or a husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend. They don't say, I love you. And in many Western cultures, we say, I love you. They don't say that. They say, I like you very much. Daisuki. Daisuki desu yo. Daisuki. I like you very, very much. They don't say, aishiteru. I love you. They don't say, aishiteru. Why? Are they shy? Are they afraid to just completely open up to the fact that they love each other? I don't know. But I had an epiphany moment. It was a moment in a revelation, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna share my faith with you guys here. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna share my faith with you. God shared with me, Japan needs love. Japan needs love. They don't need, I like you very much. They need to know, I love you. I love you. Yikes. Excuse me, guys. I apologize for that. So in that, I fell asleep that night, and I got a vision of just what is it like to share love? How can I share love with Japanese? How can I prevent the next person from jumping in front of that train? What can I do? We all have a purpose in life, and what can I do to share love in Japan? And I got a vision. It was as clear as day. It was just as clear as possible day. And I got a vision of roses. Roses. Now, what is more symbolic of love than a rose? I'm sure. Please comment what might be more symbolic of roses, because I'll use it. So I've got a vision of roses, and so what I have begun doing, and I've only done it once, so don't think that I've done this. This is what I've started doing, but I've done it once, and it was basically confirmation of what I saw in my spirit. And after I was finishing Japanese class one day, I heard inside my spirit, I want you to buy a rose, and I want you to give it to the person that I tell you to give it to. I'm like, what? What? Who? What? Why? So, okay, sure. Why not? It sounds cool. So I'm walking through the train station, and there's a flower shop right next to me. So, and I'm like, okay, well, red roses are not terribly popular in Japan, but okay, sure, I'll see if they've got a red rose. If they've got one, I'll buy it. And lo and behold, they got a red rose. Okay. All right, I'm going to buy the rose. I'm going to be obedient to the voice that I'm hearing. I buy the red rose. And they wrap it all up in this beautiful little wrapping and everything. And it's just perfect. And long stem rose and thorns and everything. And I'm like, okay, I got a rose. Now what? Okay, I'm going to walk around. And now what? And seriously, I feel that I hear God speaking to me. And it's like, I want you to give it to the person that I tell you to give it to. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm hearing crazy voices in my head. And but I'm okay, sure, why not? Whenever. Let it just go with it, guys. So I bought this rose and I'm walking around and I'm like, sure, okay, little voice in my head, what are you talking about? No, no, I'm looking at all these people and everybody's walking around and doing their thing, and I'm like, all right, this is craziness. Okay, I guess I'll just take a wife, or take a wife home, take a rose home to my wife, and I'll give her a rose. So, I get on the train, and I'm like, okay, this is silliness. And I get to my next stop, and I get off the train, and walking through the station, I've got this rose. Everybody's looking at me. It's like, wow, it's a beautiful rose. It's a beautiful rose. And I'm walking through the station, and I don't even know how to explain it. To those of you who have experienced this kind of stuff, maybe you know what I'm talking about, but I hear this still small voice in my head, and it said, go back. Go back. And I'm like, what? 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 And I go back, and there's this old lady. I mean, she had to have been 70 some years old, 70, maybe, probably, I'm going to guess she's probably at least 80 years old. And she's sitting on this bench all by herself, kind of looking sad and looking down and everything. And I just, again, craziness. He's the crazy guy who's hearing voices in his head. And I hear, she's the one. What? She's the one. Okay. So I walk up to this lady and I'm like, すみません。贈り物と、じゃあ、贈り物です。これは贈り物です. It means this is a gift for you. And she looked at me and she's like, why? Why me? And she started to cry. I'm going to start crying now. I'm a 58-year-old guy and I'm going to start crying. Why me? Why me? 日本語で, in Japanese, of course. And I'm like, and I said, because you are loved. You are loved. And she went on to share with me. She's like, my family just left me. I'm all alone. Why? Why? And I knew at that moment that God was real. I mean, I've known it for a while, and this is not supposed to be some kind of a religious video or anything, but I knew at that moment God was real. This was really, really happening. And this woman had lost her family. They had left her. She's 80 years old. She felt like she had nothing left to live for. I'm sorry, guys. But Japan needs love. Japan needs your prayers. And anyway, that was my worst day. And it was opposed by, I don't know how you want to say it, but it was the opposite of it became one of my best days. And that's all I'm really here to share with you guys. That it was just it was an amazing experience. Japan is not utopia. There are real people here with real problems, but they need love. So I don't know why I'm sharing this with you guys, because most of you who are listening don't live in Japan, and maybe you're wanting to come here. But when you come here, maybe just realize that these are real people. They need to know your love. They need to know that they're loved. And what I experienced on that day was truly a spiritual experience. And it was real. It was real. I mean, I'm telling you about voices that I'm hearing in my head, and just... Are you gonna tell me that was coincidence? I'm gonna say no. That wasn't coincidence. That was real. Anyway, my worst day in Japan. opposed by one of my better days in Japan. Japan's a real country. It's got real issues. I was hoping to see some people chatting and chiming in here, but I'm not seeing anything popping up in the chat. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for joining me and just hearing kind of what I got to say. That's about all I've got for this story. There's another video coming out tonight about probably one of my best days in Japan that I had last weekend. Actually, it was just last weekend. What's today? Today is the 9th in Japan. It's the evening of the August 9th in Japan. So a week ago, what was it? I think that was going to be the 3rd. I want to say that was the 3rd of August. I had one of the best days I'd ever have in Japan. And we went to a festival that was absolutely one of the best festivals that I've ever been to. The energy, the power, oh my gosh, that was so awesome, man. The drums, the dancing and everything. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to Discovering Japan. Check out what we've got. If you've got suggestions, hey, I'm here for you. I listen to you. I listen to your comments, so please comment. Please subscribe and share with me what's on your heart. Share me what you guys want to see, and I'm happy to do that. But so here it's now 10:51 in the evening here in Japan, and in about 40 minutes we've got a new Discovering Japan premiere coming out that's going to show the Awa Odori Festival that took place near my home. There's so many Awa Odori festivals that are happening all around Japan in August. Japan is a month of festivals, or August is a month of festivals in Japan. August is one of the hottest and most miserable months to visit Japan. But the one thing that is really cool about August is they've got so many festivals to experience and enjoy here. So just if you're in Japan in August, check out all the cool festivals that are here, and primarily, please check out the Awa Odori Festival. The main Awa Odori Festival is in Tokushima in Shikoku Prefecture. That is the main one where it's huge festival, but throughout Japan they have other Awa Odori festivals, and that's what I've experienced. I have not been to the Shikoku Festival yet, but I certainly hope to make it to one of the Awa Odori Festival one day down in Shikoku and Tokushima. So anyway, check out the video that's coming up right now. Interesting evening here in Japan. Also, for those that are watching, you probably heard about the earthquake that happened down in Miyazaki just yesterday, and they got a pretty good shake, 7.1 magnitude down there, and they got a really good shake. I'm seeing comments popping up. Brandon, hey, thank you so much for chiming in there. Peace and relaxation. Is food items price increased in Japan due to the decreasing value of the yen? Hey, I'm really, really glad you guys have chimed in because I love communicating with you guys. So, Brandon, thank you so much for your comment, and peace and relaxation. And I'm going to answer peace and relaxation's comment on that. Inflation is an aspect or something that's happening around the world right now in America and Europe, and it's also happening in Japan. And the yen is the yen is a strange currency, and it really, really, really fluctuates. And I mean, just recently, within a month ago, it was at 162 to the U.S. dollar. And which was amazing, and I get paid in U.S. dollars, so I'm like, yeah, man, I'm like freaking king of the hill here. But like in the past few weeks, it just went pee, and it took a dive, and I'm just like going, oh my gosh. But if you're making the U.S. dollar and you're coming here on a U.S. dollar, a foreign currency, the currency is fluctuating a lot, and it's gonna depend on a lot of factors, and I'm not going to go into an economic conversation here on this, but there are reasons for the fluctuation going on right now. And Japan is actually intervening in the economy right now, and they are trying to strengthen their yen. And if you look at currencies around the world, I'm going into a whole full-blown economic conversation here that I wasn't planning to go into, but if you look at currencies around the world with respect to the Japanese yen, you will see that the Japanese yen is strengthening across all currencies across the board. That means that the Bank of Japan has intervened and they've done something. However, with history to this current situation, Japan has done this in the past, and they've intervened and they've tried to strengthen the yen, and the yen just goes pew for a few weeks or a month or so, but the market always corrects itself, and the yen just goes back down. So I'm no economist, and don't base your economic history on what I have to say right now, but I am personally, and I could be wrong, I am personally expecting it to go back up again and the yen to weaken. And unfortunately, that's terrible for the Japanese, and I feel, and I don't say that to be rude, but I expect the yen to weaken again. But I don't know. I'm no economist, so please just don't take my words to the bank. Don't go throwing all kind of money into the yen or anything like that. Do I know about the homeless teenager in Tokyo? I think I know who you're referring to. And yes, you will see the homeless teenager in Tokyo. Are you referring to who Oriental Pearl? She highlights this particular individual in Tokyo. If that's who you're referring to, I'm familiar with this person. I'm very much a fan of Tokyo Pearl's work. I think she does an amazing job at highlighting some of the true aspects of what happens here in Japan, and I truly commend her on her outreach and what she's doing here in Japan. So if that's what you're referring to, yeah, I'm familiar with that person. I don't know if he's a teenager. I personally don't know his age, but yeah, I am familiar. Homelessness in Tokyo is something that is not. People just don't talk about it, and the Japanese are a very proud people, and they sweep these things under the carpet. They don't want to tell the world that, hey, we've got problems. Hey, we're not perfect, because the world believes Tokyo's got this perfect image and stuff. But the reality of it is, and when you're here and when you live here and when you're not a tourist and you see things, you realize that Japan is not perfect, guys. But it's a wonderful country. Don't get me wrong. Wonderful country. It's and I really don't want to live anywhere else in the world right now. But it's not perfect. But anyway, I hope I've answered your question. Peace and relaxation. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for chiming in and for asking your question. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I just pumped something. Yep. Anyway, okay, I'm just taking a look. Anyway, a new video coming out, Discovering Japan, here in about just a little over 30 minutes now. But we're going to premiere that video here, and it's basically just the Awa Odori Festival, and it's going to be in the video. We've actually have an exchange student living here with us right now in Japan who is from another country. I'm not going to say which country right now, but they're here visiting us and staying with us here in Japan, and we are so excited to we love having visitors. We love seeing Japan through the eyes of a first-time visitor, and the student that we've got visiting us here right now is in Japan for the very first time, and they've witnessed this festival that we experienced last weekend for the very first time. And I've been here for 4 years. I've been in Japan for 4 years, and I haven't even experienced this festival before. But man, the power and the energy of this festival was so amazing. I can't even begin to explain it. And you won't, I'm sorry, you will not experience the power and the energy that we experience through a video. You just can't do it. It's like watching football, American football, or any sports event on the television and being there in person. The energy is just もう全然違うですよ. It's completely different. So we were there in person, but yeah, please check out the video, and if you have the opportunity, put on some headphones, put on your earbuds, put whatever, and crank the volume, crank it up, because it's just boom 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 boom. And it was like, oh my god, and my chest was just like, and it felt so amazing. It felt so good. Peace and relaxation. I see you popped up a question here. Have you learned Japanese language, and so the language barrier, something's blocking, not be a problem with talk to people? 日本語わかります。ピース&リラクションは日本語わかりますか？はい。そう、この質問はわかりますか？ So, yes. So, yeah, I speak fairly good Japanese, and I'm not peta peta by any means. But 僕の日本語はもうまあまあです。もう会話もできますよ。So my Japanese is not too bad, and I can carry on a conversation without really any problem. Some words I don't know, and that's when I take that as an opportunity to stop. What was that word? What did you just say? Put it in my phone, write it down, whatever, and then memorize it. And that's just how we learn. My first experience with Japanese was many, 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 many years ago, and probably as I'm looking at the demographics of my followers here, probably more than many of you were born. Yeah, I'm an old fart. So anyway, but I started learning Japanese many, 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 many years ago, and I didn't use it. I didn't speak it for probably over almost 35 years. Yeah, I'm really, really, really dating myself, but I didn't use it. But moving back to Japan, it's like, okay, we got to get busy here. I'm in Japan. I got to learn the language, and I restarted refocusing it. But one thing I've noticed is that since I'm not young anymore, when I was young, I absorbed the language like my brain was a sponge, and my brain could remember all these stuff. And I was amazed that after so many years, I could still remember some of the Japanese that I learned when I was here when I was in my 20s. And but however, now that I'm not so young anymore, it was like my brain is like, it's like a rock. They call me a hard head. And so it takes a little bit more work to get the Japanese into my brain, but it gets there. But yeah, so have I learned the Japanese language? So the Japanese language barrier, there's something blocking what you're saying there, and I can't say barrier, not be a problem with the people. So yeah, I have no problem. My wife is Japanese, and many times, like, if I need to call the doctor or something like that, she's like, do you want me to call the doctor for you? And I'm like, no, don't call the doctor for me. I want to do this myself. I'm an American, man. I'm going to do everything myself. I can do it. I can do this. So yeah, so I call the doctor myself. I call people on the phone, and if I make a mistake, we all make mistakes. But anyway, good question. Peace and relaxation. Thank you so much for joining us, and I really, really appreciate your question and posting up here. Anyway, life is good. I love Japan. I love discovering Japan. I love sharing Japan with you. Let's see, peace and relaxation. You still look young, even though your beard is white. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, brother. I don't know. Peace, relaxation. I don't want to misgender anyone, but anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, people say I look much, much younger without the beard. However, I don't know. Age is a number, and my heart still feels like I'm like in my 20s, 30s. I don't know, but yeah, age is a number, and I get enough people to tell me, hey, I like you with the beard better than without the beard. So And okay, number one, my wife likes the beard. Okay, so number one. So we keep the beard. The beard stays. So anyway, it's not about how you look, and it's about how you feel, and it's about your wife. It's about your wife. So anyway, thanks again so much. Peace and relaxation. I'm appreciating what you got to say. So I appreciate your keeping the video live here. Anyway, I'll go on all night if you guys want to continue. Well, I'm not going to go on too much longer. I'm going to go on for. I definitely want to stop before the premiere starts of the new video for the Awa Odori Festival. But yeah, if you got any other questions, please feel free. Shout them out. Ask the questions. I do my best to answer your questions. And I'm no expert about Japan. People ask me questions about manga and anime, and I'm like, I don't have a clue, man. So, or certain like, ski resorts and that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I'll do my best to answer your question. So anyway, yeah, I again, discovery of Japan is a process and it takes time. So little by little, I discover it as it comes to me. I mean, the first time I came to Japan was, again, I'm going to date myself, 1987. 1987, I came to Japan for the first time here on vacation, and I had no plan. This is before we didn't have a freaking cell phone. We didn't have a freaking app to tell us where to go. We didn't have the internet. You had a freaking encyclopedia. But what I did is I took what was in front of me and I embraced it. When I got to a train station or Shinjuku or Shibuya, Akihabara, I was like, just embrace what's in front of you and enjoy it. So if you come to Japan, just embrace what you got right in front of you. Enjoy the food, enjoy the people, enjoy the culture, and just roll with it, man. Stop overthinking stuff, okay, guys? Let's see. I got some questions popping up here. Oh my gosh. Peace of relaxation. You still look young. Okay, I got that one. If you're living in Japan, you will 100 years be like other Japanese people because of their foods and lifestyle? I don't know. Japanese eat a very good diet. And being my wife is Japanese, we eat a really good diet. And I gotta say, she takes very good care of me. Okay. I gotta stop and brag here for a moment. Peace and relaxation. You started something and I'm gonna finish it. My wife takes such good care of me. This is my second marriage, and I was married to an American woman for a long time. And but my wife, my Japanese wife, she does not send me out the door in the morning without a pre-made lunch or packed lunch. Not pre-made. She makes my lunch. She puts it together. She puts it in an obento. And I work with all Americans, and sometimes they make fun of me, like, what's that funny little lunchbox you got? And I'm like, yeah, you guys are just jealous because your wife didn't make you no lunch. My wife takes good care of me, and she makes me a good lunch, and I'm healthy, and I'm happy. And so God bless my wife. Let's see, what type of anime you like? Peace and relaxation. My question in return for you is, what's anime? I don't watch anime. I don't know. I'm in Japan, but I don't watch anime. I don't know. I've seen I think there's something called One Piece. That's a joke. And Naruto. And there's some other stuff. I don't have any anime. I don't watch television. I don't watch any of that. I don't watch anything. I stay very busy with other activities and stuff, and I just don't have time for anime and television or anything like that. I don't even watch Japanese television. So you're asking me questions that I don't have an answer to. Brandon, hey, thanks for chiming in here. What are places you'd recommend someone who plans going to Japan for the first time? Wow, that's a great question. I kind of answered that question a little bit ago. And I would just say, okay, yeah, you want to go to if you're coming here for the first time, of course you're going to go to Tokyo. Of course you're going to do that. But don't make such a rigid plan. Go where your feet take you. Because it's just, especially if you're coming here for the first time, the culture and the shock of it in and of itself is going to be like, whoa. Stop into restaurants. And okay, if you're going to go to a restaurant, go to places that don't have an English menu. Use your Google Translator, camera, whatever, but don't go to places that have an English menu because they're like westernized, if you will. But yeah, go to places that don't have an English menu. Use your Google Translate app, camera, whatever, and go to those places. You'll feel more of a real cultural experience when you go to places like that. The places that have an English menu, because they're commercialized almost. Specific places, yeah, everybody knows the popular places, Asakusa and Shinjuku and Roppongi and oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on and on. Akihabara and all these places, Shibuya, the Crossing, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, big whoop-de freaking do to me. Okay, I don't mean to be rude, but I've been here 4 years and I've seen all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, you know what? To me, that's not the real Japan. Those are places those are man-made images of what Japan is. Get out of those areas. Go 2 streets over from the main streets in Shibuya, 2 streets over from the main streets in Shinjuku, 2 streets over from Asakusa, and experience more of a real culture. Get away from, of course, go see the main cool things. See that stuff, but get over to the side. Get to the side streets and get away from what the tourist bureau says this is Japan. No, that's what they want you to believe Japan is. If you got a chance, get out into the country. Take a train, get on a train, throw a dart at a map, and go, I'm going to go to Shiki-Shmakashmu. Oh my God, I don't know. I'm making stuff up as I go here. And go there, get off the train into this no-named place, and just walk around. And you'll be amazed at the culture, because they'll kind of look at you like, hey, there's a foreigner here. What is this foreigner doing here? Oh my gosh. And let's be nice and let's welcome him and let's make him feel welcome. And you'll feel like a celebrity. So that's my recommendation to you. I know I've taken a long time to answer all these questions. I'm trying to catch up. You don't know Pokemon? I see Japanese really loves it. Yes, I know Pokemon. Everybody knows Pokemon. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm almost 59 years old, and I don't know, I have different interests, and there's nothing wrong with Pokemon. There's nothing wrong with getting into manga and Pokemon. There's nothing wrong with that. God bless you. Enjoy that. Have fun. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. That's just me. That's just me. I want to be able to visit traditional places first and then places like Tokyo. Okay, traditional places. One of my, I've got a video on my channel and I highly recommend you check it out. And it's a trip to, I don't know what I don't remember the name of the video that I've got out there, but it's a trip to Mitake, Mitake, Mitake. And it's Tokyo, but it is outside the main part of Tokyo. There's mountains, there's rivers, there's kayaking, there's whitewater rapids, there's the little village huts and stuff, and there's temples and stuff. I should probably try to look that up while I'm on here, but I'm trying to stay focused here. But yeah, check out my channel, and I want to say I think it's called Day Trip from Tokyo or something to that effect, and check that out. And that's not the only place. There's so many other places like that in the Tokyo area. Just get outside the city, and there's so many really cool places. Kawagoe. Kawagoe. If I said that too fast, that's a really cool place. It's just real traditional places that are outside the city. As I've said it so many other times, Japan is an extremely complex culture of ancient history that dates back thousands of years, mixed with the modern technology of society. And people, I see, and I want to just reach through my phone sometimes when I see these TikTok videos that say Japan is living in the year 2050, and I want to shake their heads and just be like, "Come on, man, really?" Because they showed some kind of a video of somebody scanning something or something, I don't know, whatever. But Japan is still a society that uses fax machines and they don't have digital signatures to send documents. They have to put a Honko stamp, and I don't know if you Honko stamp. Hang on a second. Here's my Honko stamp. A Honko stamp is basically your signature, and this is a Honko stamp, and that has my name on it. And this is how they this is how they sign a document, is they take this and they stamp it and they put it on the paper and it's stamped. And that's a signature. They don't do digital stamps. I mean, it does happen, but it's not like a common thing. In the Western world, we get a document, we digitally sign it, boom, it's gone. It's gone in 3 seconds, and the next person has it, and it's moved along. In Japan, they Honko stamp it, they put it back in the mail, they send it, or they fax it, and it's just, it's an interesting culture. It's not all the year 2050. Let's see. Let me check. Pokemon. I was able to. Okay. Yep. So I'm caught up on my questions. Brandon, thank you so much for asking all of your questions. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all the questions. I really appreciate the engagement that you guys give me. That just gives me life, and it's good to see that I'm not just out here talking to myself here on YouTube. But anyway, it is now 10:17 p.m. on August the 9th, 2024. Here in Japan, we are outside of Tokyo. We are about an hour south of Tokyo. And not that matters. The time is the same throughout Japan. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me and for sticking in, and for whether this is boring or not. I really appreciate your engagement. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and like the video if you would, please. And if you've got any comments, I want to be here for you guys. When I came to Japan here 4 years ago, I had no clue. I was dropped here. I came to Japan in the middle of COVID-19, and tourism did not exist when I got here. It was kind of cool, actually, because I felt like I had the whole freaking country to myself. I could go to Shinjuku. I could go to all these places. I could go to Mount Fuji, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. I had the whole place to myself. It was absolutely freaking amazing. And now it's like, Japan opened back up, and it's just like I can't go anywhere without feeling like I'm cramped in here and I got to squeeze into everything. So I really miss I'm being selfish here. I really miss those days of back when I kind of felt like I had the whole country to myself. It was really, really cool. Brandon, I see you've been messaging me some more. Be able to okay, thanks for the info. And here from New York City. Start spreading the news. Okay, yeah. You don't want to hear my Frank Sinatra impersonation. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, God bless New York. God bless America. I'm an American citizen living here in Japan, living the dream. Anyway, I'm sorry to have poisoned you with my horrible singing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I'm keeping my eye open here. If anybody's got any additional questions here in the last few seconds here, I got a couple more minutes before my premiere starts. Then I'm going to jump over to that, and I'm going to be answering questions or be there live with anybody who wants to pay attention to that. All I can say is I love Japan. I think it's a wonderful country. It's not perfect. It's not utopia. It's not all manga and anime and unicorns and maid cafes and everything. It's a real culture, and there's wonderful people here. Peace and relaxation. I see you popped up a question here. Here from Nepal. Wow, wonderful. Awesome. I'm so glad to hear somebody's here from Nepal. Here in nature is beautiful, and here is no. I'm sorry, my eyes are. 僕の目はすごく悪いです。No silence, peace like Japan, but I'm an introvert and don't any friend and enjoy being alone and enjoy music and games. Well, peace and relaxation, I'm with you too. When I lived in the United States, people called me, and I was a self-proclaimed professional relaxer. What does that mean? Man, I work very, very hard, but I love to relax. Equally, I can't say equally as hard, but I like to relax, and I love to relax with a perfect balance of relaxation. My wife and I recently found a waterfall that was in the middle of nowhere on a road between Tokyo and Mount Fuji. And we spent the day at this waterfall, just the two of us. And I want to say it was probably the first time in 4 years that I was in Japan and nobody was around. We had like the entire waterfall to ourselves. It was hot. I want to say it was 40 degrees Celsius. It was hotter than blazes. It was hotter than hell in Japan. But we had this waterfall all to ourselves. And maybe I should post up a video about it. It'll have to be a short video because I didn't take much, but I shot some drone video of it, and it was just so peaceful. It was so wonderful. So yeah, peace and relaxation. You would definitely like a place like this. It's hard to find a place in Japan where there are no people. Even I live outside of Tokyo, kind of in a country area, but even if I walk outside my door, there's always somebody driving down the street. There's always a bicycle. There's always a person. There's something. Do I have any regrets in life? There's something covering your comment, and I can't. Do I have any regrets in life? I would have to say no. It's rare to say that anybody's lived a perfect life, but yeah, of course, yeah, I have regrets in life. There's things that I would have done differently, and I think that if anybody says that they've lived their life perfectly, I would have. My opinion, maybe I'm wrong, is that they're not being honest with themselves. I think we can all do things a little bit better in life. Do I have any regrets about coming to Japan and moving to Japan? I sold everything I had in the United States. I sold my house, my car, my motorhome, my Jeep. I miss my Jeep. I sold everything to come to Japan. And came here with almost nothing. Do I regret that? No. No, I don't. I love Japan. I love being here. And God has blessed me. And I'll say that one thing, that's for sure. God has blessed me. And I give all glory and all honor to God. And I'm not going to here to get religious on anybody or go into all that. But my personal belief is that God has blessed me, and He's blessed me beyond measure. Ed's, man, I want a Japanese girlfriend. Be careful what you wish for. Japanese girls. Japanese are wonderful. Japanese are wonderful. They're so good. But at the end of the day, they're women. And I don't mean anything negative against women. I love women, but I'm 58 years old, and I'm still trying to figure women out. I don't think it's possible. But yeah, I love my Japanese wife. I absolutely love her, and I don't love her because she's Japanese. I love her because she is who she is, and I love my Japanese wife, and God has blessed me. So. Again, I'm not here. This is not a religious channel. This is not here to get all, mushy on that. But God's blessed me. That can be crazy. You betcha, brother. If if a man say he's got woman figured out, he's lying. Run away. Don't listen to him. He's crazy. He's crazy. Anyway, well, guys, I got about 5 minutes until our new video premieres here with the Awa Odori dance. If you're on with our channel, please check out the video. It's premiering here in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna bug out of here. I'm gonna say good night from Japan. Good night, Japan. Yeah, I'm dating myself. It's 10:25 p.m. on August 9th, 2024. Love you guys. Love you guys to the end of the world. Jump over to the other video. If you want to continue the chat, please jump over to the other video, and I'll be there in just a couple of minutes. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say good night. Ed's bye, brother. Thank you so much. I'm gonna jump over to looking at. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm looking at my screen here, trying to figure out how to stop the video. Anyway, I am going to get out of here, and let's see. Do I have any party music with you guys? There we go. Love you guys, man. Have a good night. Let's start this song over. There we go. I love some good techno music.